Hello, good afternoon and welcome to News Hour on GBC News, your news and governance channel. We're also live on Ghana Television. We're streaming live via Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Rahamatu Mahmoud Jawando. On Monday, February 14th, 2022, the Ashaman District Court remanded popular Ghanaian social activist group also fixed the country, Mr. Oliver Baka Vomewo, into prison custody charged with treason felony. The lawyer made unsavory comments stating he did stage a coup if the controversial e-levy policy was passed. Reacting to the charges and appearance in court yesterday, panelists on GTV Breakfast Show argue that although freedom of speech allows ideas to flourish, one should be mindful not to make provocative forms speech that could be deemed offensive or incite people into violent protests.
Felony has been defined by the Criminal Offences Act under section 1821, and with the permission of the, let me read it.
Yes.
Treason felony, a person is guilty of treason felony and shall be punishable as for a first degree felony who A. prepares or by unlawful means any alteration of the law or the policies of government, or B. prepares or endeavor to carry out by unlawful means any enterprise which usurps the executive power of the state in any matter of both public and general nature.
So that is treason.
That is treason felony.
Break it down into simple English for us. What does it mean?
It means any attempt to overthrow the executive power of the state or overthrow the government of the state would constitute treason felony. And it is a first degree offense. And if you are proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction, the punishment, depending on who is sitting in the chair, can be death.
Well, the punishment can actually be death.
That's right.
Okay.
You know, so
why such a serious punishment?
It's a serious punishment because you are overthrowing the Constitution. And that is why Section 182 is clear on it that it is a first degree felony. And first degree felony means you have committed the highest level of crime in the country, provided for under Article 19 of our Constitution. And any attempt to overthrow the Constitution means you have to face it. You know, so it is not a joke. The words there are attempt and then actually going ahead to carry out the intent. But what we need to understand is that our Constitution guarantees fair trial. And in our Constitution under Article 19, you are innocent until proven guilty.
The government and the commercial transport operators are holding opposing positions on increment in transport fares expected in the coming weeks, whilst the coalition of private transport operators is proposing an increment of not less than 20%. Government, on the other hand, is pushing for a 10% increment. The 3-hour meeting, the second to be held in 1 week, ended in a standoff as both parties held entrenched positions. We earlier spoke to Mr. Abbas Muru, head of communications, Ghana Private Road Transport Union, on their next line of action.
The meeting has to be postponed because under our request, I'll have to go back and meet for a final meeting because we were not satisfied with the 10% being given by government. We represent a large congregation, so we have to go back and meet. And you see, this increment has been long overdue. If you can recall, we started this struggle from last year, somewhere in November, when we were agitating for scrapping out of some levies and taxes, which of course will not come with any upward adjustment in lorry fares. The government has not given to that. Seeing their prices of spare parts are climbing up, fuel is swelling up. They have no choice to survive this business than to come up with an upward adjustment. Hence our decision as at where we are today. for now, if we don't do what we are doing, meaning we have to pack our vehicles, you can imagine it. We have a threshold of 10% increment in fuel. And now if you calculate, we've gone beyond 30, 35 upward after the 30%. We've gone far beyond the threshold of 10%. So we find it uneasy with the government 10%, which is woefully inadequate. That is likely to come up with anything I can suggest.
The Ghana Commission for the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, in collaboration with the Ghana Institute of Journalism, GIJ, and the Ghana Journalists Association, GJA, have held a forum to mark World Radio Day. This year's edition of the celebration was on the theme Radio and Trust, the Ghanaian story in the Fourth Republic. Radio, one of the oldest mass media outlets, is still one of the most trusted sources of information. Radio has been one of the vital elements of the life of Ghana since 1966. Radio broadcast plays an important role in enforcing democratic culture by keeping listeners informed and providing forums to hold healthy debates and discussions on development. World Radio Day is celebrated on the 13th of February every year. The day is set aside to recognize the relevance, independence and reliability of radio in all UN member states in 2011 and was adopted by the UN General Assembly in 2012. A Deputy Minister for Information, Madam Fatimatu Abubakar, encouraged all media practitioners to respect the ethics of journalism by feeding the public with truthful, verifiable and accurate information. She also assured the practitioners of the ministry's efforts to protect journalists from assaults.
I think it is only fair that as we seek to cooperate with all of our stakeholders within the information space, also grant us the opportunity for us to always resort to dialogue and not violence.
The president of the GJA, Mr. Afel Muni, congratulated all media practitioners and media owners for their roles in society's development and progress. He, however, lamented the fast deterioration of radio broadcasts due to the poor conduct of some radio stations or those manning them.
In some instances, radio has become the theater for the fetishistic pursuit of agendas far removed from journalism. Little wonder, therefore, that trust in radio is on the wane, while professional sins are on the rise.
The Secretary General of the Ghana Commission for UNESCO, Mrs. Amasewa Nekwe Tete, commended the Ministry of Information for the establishment of the Office of Coordinated Mechanism on the Safety of Journalists, condemnation of attacks, and for the passage of the RTI Bill.
There is more to radio than announcers, news, and songs. Radio stands for companionship and it's an emotional connection with the listener. It is important to many people, broadcasting 24 hours in some cases, just to ensure that we have up-to-date information.
A panel discussion was held to dissect the issue of radio broadcasting and share opinions on the World Radio Day celebration and to suggest how to improve journalism practice. The Ghana Association of Writers has announced submission of qualified literacy works from January 1st, 2021 to March 30th, 2022 for the 6th Ghana Association of Writers Literacy Award. The event will be held in November 2022 under the theme Honoring Literacy Excellence. GBC News reporter Rufina Bugo Sakuno has just returned from location and has joined me in the studio for details. Rufina, welcome.
Thank you.
So what are the rules for entry?
Actually, the award is open to works by Ghanaians, authors, or anyone resident in Ghana, or at least has worked for 3 years. Entries may be on subject or theme. And also the original the original copies must be published in Ghana or in abroad.
Okay, so again, what are the processes?
Okay, the award is launched today, 15th of February 2022.
Okay.
And there will be a shortlisting, and then assessment will be taking place afterwards. And 3 winners of each category will be declared.
Will be declared. And
Yes.
what can you just tell me what the winners will be taken?
No, they have not really come here.
Okay then. So who and who are sponsoring this?
Okay, Goldfield Ghana, Nestle, Stanbic Bank, and Gwell. But the association is calling on all organizations and corporate bodies to come on board to help them.
Okay. So thank you very much. We'll be expecting your detailed report then. So then, let's move to Navrungo, where retaining professionals, especially medical doctors and allied health workers in the Upper East region, remains an old age problem affecting healthcare delivery and socio-economic development. To reverse the state of affairs, duty bearers are working towards a plan to get the various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to sponsor students from those areas to study the sciences and other related courses at the tertiary levels. The proposal is for such students to be maintained in the region to beef up personnel numbers for health care delivery. The regional minister, Mr. Stephen Yakubu, spoke to GBC News at Bolgatanga.
The East region has 15 MMDAs, and getting professionals to take up postings in the various communities is an age-old headache for duty bearers. Factors contributing to this status quo include the lack of some basic necessities of life. The few who defy the odds and end up taking up appointments in the public sector in the region often apply for reposting to other parts of the country a few months or years into their stay, an issue said to be affecting the socio-economic development of a region described as underdeveloped.
We have a lot of challenges, but we also have a lot of potentials here. Sometimes you see people traveling all the way down south, especially Kumasi, to do other courses there. Medicine, for instance, as you're talking about. We have a lot of challenges here retaining doctors here. So coming out with this or even thinking about it, I think is a laudable idea because it's going to help us do that. They've been in my office, we've talked about it, to even sponsor some of the students so that when they finish their courses, then they will stay here. So it's something that I think is a very laudable idea, and I credit them for that, and I encourage them. I'm going to give them all the support so that they can roll out this for us.
If this proposal works out, then the old song of no doctors and nurses in the Upper East region will no longer exist. GBC News, Bolgatanga.
A modern school building is a motivator to school children. So pupils of Esiakwa Methodist Junior High School in the Abuakwa South Educational Directorate in the Eastern region are happy with their new junior high school block. The ultra-modern school building with the state-of-the-art facility has been inaugurated.
The new building is inaugurated, a first of its kind at Esiakwa. Its construction became necessary to replace the old dilapidated Esiakwa Methodist Junior High School, which many complained was a death trap to pupils and teachers. The new school facility has been christened Akosua Jewa Methodist Junior High School. With modern infrastructure, the facility is expected to provide a holistic education through secular and co-secular activities. It now has a well-designed classroom, a well-stocked central library, ICT lab, teacher station, headmaster's unit, school canteen, modern washrooms, among other accompanying facilities. The new facility was constructed by the registrar of the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat, Dr. Kingsley Ajimai. He named the building after his late mother, Madam Akosua Jewa, who was a teacher. At a ceremony to formally open the facility, he said the desire is to make the school a model one.
There shall be free school uniforms for every child that will have the opportunity to school here. Textbooks, exercise books, all learning materials that will ensure that you have a very good education will be provided by the family. To make sure that you also have sandals and socks as well. Because physical education is very key to the mental development of every child. We are going to make sure that you will have a set of about 3 sets of school jerseys for those who will be playing football, a set of football boots, a lot of footballs for those playing netball too as well.
The Bishop of the Kufu-Idua Diocese of the Methodist Church Ghana, Right Reverend Emmanuel Asari, called on parents to give their wards the right training to become disciplined and responsible later in life. The event has support from the Municipal Director of Education in the Ebuakwa South, Regional Director of Education, among other personalities. They applauded the intervention but also expressed concern over the maintenance culture in the country. Citations were also presented to Dr. Ajamai for his developmental projects in the Ebuakwa South area. The beneficiaries say, per its facilities, the Akosia Jewa Methodist Junior High School is on the right path in fulfilling the mission of preparing rural students for the future.
Last night, some irate youth at Lamashegu South set ablaze chamber and hall apartment belonging to a officer. Though the motive of the yet-to-be-identified youth is unknown, tenants believe a police officer who is a tenant in the same house was the target. The attack follows a clash between some residents of Lamashegu and the police on Sunday, which has resulted in the death of 1 person and at least 8 others injured.
I heard a noise outside, making noise, knocking boom boom on a particular gate. Calling a name like that. So I came out to see what has happened. I came out and saw that one of my tenants' veranda got bent. So all of a sudden we started fetching water and other things to quench the fire. After finishing everything, we saw that there's a petrol around the veranda and matches, meaning someone came around to bend it. And that particular room she's living in, there was a policeman in that particular room who left to the next room, but maybe the person still think that the policeman is still living in that particular room, because they have conflict with the Lamashegu area and the police. Then that is why they were trying to bend him inside. And she's a police officer. She's a fire officer. She's not a police officer.
Very bad, to be frank, because the police are there for us, and we're also there for them. Even if there are misunderstandings between the people and the police, we should sit down and find amicable solution to it. But we, the youth, rather starting to attack the police, we are rather worsening the issue. So I don't think it's the best. We should keep our calm and look up to the authorities to find solution to the issue. But I don't think it's the best.
We are joined on the line by our correspondent Murtala Isa for some updates. Good afternoon, Murtala.
Yeah.
How are you, Murtala?
I'm doing very well, Aja.
So what more can you tell us?
So what I can tell you is that the police CID have visited them and take details of the burning. I am told some ceiling and portions of the veranda have been burnt, but for the timely intervention of co-tenants, the entire apartment would have been burnt down. The other connection we are trying to understand now is the linkage between the attack and the happenings in Lamashegu. According to the caretaker, the target was actually a police officer who is a co-tenant in the house, but they missed that and they mistakenly went to burn that of the fire service woman.
So how serious was the fire?
So part of the ceiling, the fence, the veranda, and then some items within the veranda have also been burnt. Fortunately, they were able to help down the fire before it could cause major damage.
So, Murtala, back to the clashes at Lamashegu. What is the state of the deceased young man now?
So as we speak, the body has just been released to the family, and they are currently at the Tamale Teaching Hospital preparing the body for burial in accordance with Islamic custom. So the young man is to be buried today, and a lot of young youth have gathered there to see him off and give him a befitting burial. But there is still anger among some young people within Tamale about the whole incident.
Okay, thank you so much, Murtala. That was our correspondent with that update. So now back to NDC Member of Parliament for Assin North constituency, Mr. James Jechukwesen, has pleaded not guilty to 5 criminal charges: deceit of public office, forgery of passport or travel certificate, knowingly making a false statutory declaration, perjury and false declaration for office. The MP appeared before the court after a criminal summons was issued against him on February 9th, 2022.
In court on Tuesday, February 15, 2022, the MP denied any wrongdoing to all 5 charges leveled against him. He was admitted to bail in the sum of 100,000 cedis with a surety to be justified. He is also to deposit his passport at the registrar of the court. The court had earlier turned down a request from his lawyer, Mr. Chachuchikata, who had argued that a constitution which arose in the counts 3, 4 and 5 of the charge sheet ought to be referred to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Mr. Chikata, arguing on an application for bail, said a self-recognizance bail was an appropriate bail condition for the accused person, taking into consideration his status and a public officer. However, Deputy Attorney General Mr. Alfred Tuayeboa said prosecution was not opposed to the grant of bail, but urged the court not to grant the MP a self-recognizance bail in view of what has happened. Mr. Tuayeboa suggested that the accused deposit his passport to the registrar of the court. The court ordered the prosecution to file all disclosures, witness statements in intents to rely on in the case within 3 weeks and have same served on the accused. The state on February 3, 2022, charged Mr. Jechukwesen, the MP for Assin North, with 5 counts including perjury. Mr. Kwesen, who contested the primary seat of the Assin North constituency and won on the ticket of the National Democratic Congress, had his seat declared vacant by the Cape Coast High Court on his alleged Canadian nationality switch, but he has since filed an appeal. With the criminal suit filed by the Attorney General, Mr. Kwesen is facing 5 criminal charges. The charges are deceit of public officer, forgery of passport or travel certificate, knowingly making a false statutory declaration, perjury and false declaration for office. The case has been adjourned to March 15, 2022.
With the sole aim to protect and promote Ghanaian traditional beliefs and customs, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture has inaugurated a 9-member board to steer the affairs of the National Folklore Board.
The National Folklore Board is a statutory body. Its primary aim is to protect and promote the national beliefs and customs of Ghanaians. The chairman of the board, Professor Abdullahi Salifu Asuro, was concerned about the delay of the cultural policy. He says, with the policy in place, it will be easier to streamline activities and urged the Tourism Ministry to speed up work on its passing. He said, Ghana's history and cultural values and institutions must continue to guide and influence the nation's destiny and play a key role in governance and national life. The Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Mr. Mark Okrekumante, sworn members in and said folklore is central to the agenda of growing Ghana's tourism. The 9-member board is chaired by Professor Abdullahi Salifu Asuro, Madam Bernice Ande Kuma, Madam Yatafua, musician Enoch Yao Odro Ejei, popularly known as Trigmatic, a poet, Philip Boachidria Oyinka, also known as Nana Asase, Josephine Ohine Osei, and Madam Sarah Noko Anku. For GBC News, Hega Owusu, Accra.
Okaja Krom Senior High School in the Jasikan municipality of the Oti region is in need of infrastructure which is negatively affecting the school's academic work. Since it was established about 31 years ago, the school has not had any major facelift. Management is therefore appealing to the government, corporate organizations and philanthropists to come to their aid.
Senior High Technical was established in 1991 by the EP Church Ghana to bring secondary technical education to the doorsteps of the numerous BECE graduates in the area. Since its inception over 31 years ago, the school has not experienced any renovation works on the few classrooms and dormitory blocks which are woefully inadequate to accommodate the ever-increasing population of the over 903 students. This has created a serious congestion in the classrooms and dormitories. The school has only a bungalow for the headmaster, which implies that all the over 56-member teaching staff resides in the Jasikan township and commute to the school daily. A 6-unit classroom block, which was started in 2011, has been the contractor. The situation has compelled the school management to use classrooms and other makeshift structures to accommodate the students. The headmaster of the school, Mr. Charles Nyame Komesa, in an interview with GBC News, highlighted the infrastructural challenges facing the school.
Accommodation for teachers is a big problem. We have 2 detached, apartments, which is occupied by the assistant master academic and then the headmaster. The other 2 bungalows have deteriorated, and the security also is not good at all. And so nobody would like to stay there because of the deterioration and then the security. In fact, it's a problem controlling the students. And we sometimes have to plead with the teachers, some of who leave Ajasikan to come and assist. So the school has no walls. So anywhere you pass, you easily go. And this is what they do. And we are between 2 towns, that's Ajasikan and Kajakru. And so these students easily access, instead of sitting down to them, they go out, spend the time, then they come back tired, and then they come and sleep. Sometimes, in fact, we've managed, but it's not the best. Sometimes they go and drink. Sometimes they go out to smoke and then come. But once you're not caught in red-handed, it becomes very difficult to handle them, to handle such issues. And it's impacting negatively on the academic work in the school.
Mr. Komesa noted that the school also lacks frequent potable water supply systems, saying students depend largely on mechanized boreholes, which sometimes run out.
Unity, upholding cultural and traditional values as well as speaking and writing language unadulterated and without borrowing words was the prime concern of our Wuli of the Akusu traditional area, Tata Afona Dake Abwaza III, on the Biakuyo district of the Oti region. At the second edition of the Kudu Donale, Tata Dake Abwaza III said since this is adhered to, accelerating development of the traditional area is guaranteed.
Kudu Donale in Akposo literally means all hands on deck. Kudu Donale was instituted 2 years ago after a long period of no gathering in the community, when on the eve of their annual Ovozu festival, the palace of their paramount chief was attacked, wounding him and setting ablaze of his vehicle. The incident also saw the vandalization of properties running into millions of cedis. Since then, the community has not held any major social gathering apart from funerals. Kudu Donale therefore came to fill the void created. The Akposos are believed to be among the Negro race scattered across the globe. Akposos were the first to occupy the vast land known as Central Togo and scattered towards Mountain Germany near Amejope until they finally settled at present day Akposokubi and its environs in the Biakuya district of the Oti region. Some major towns of the Akposos are Akposokubi, Akposolife, Akposokabo, Akposoklabi, Akposo Itova, Akposo Obivi. This year took the form of a traditional quiz competition between the 4 major towns of the area. A health screening, a football gala,
okay, la foot,
and a visit to the Okuvi ancestral cave. Tata Afona Dake Abuaze is the brain behind Kudu Donale. An international NGO, Community Angels Outreach Incorporated, based in the US, sponsored the free screening exercise.
Plans and strategies to drastically reduce teenage pregnancy in the central region have been rolled out by Queen Mothers of the region and the regional minister. They used this year's Valentine's Day to educate and advise the youth, especially the females, to remain chastity till they are ready for marriage. The theme of the program for combating teenage pregnancy, the role of the Queen Mothers in the central region.
It has been the practice in the region that activity increases during festivities, especially on the part of the youth. To make it easy for the female teen to absorb the message, female directors in the region were selected as role models to address the ladies. This year's female directors included Dr. Mrs. Akosue Jewa Owusu Sapong and Madam Agatha Ajimang, regional directors of health and education respectively. The Central Regional Minister, Mrs. Justina Marigodeson, pleaded with the Queen Mothers to support her in dealing with the menace.
I thought it wise that being a woman, I can't do it all alone. I will need these leaders that I've talked about to support me, to drum home, so that we can get our girls running with us, so that in the future we'll be able to bequeath whatever we are doing to them.
The Queen Mother of Mankasim and former president of the Regional Queen Mothers Association, Nana May Misa, restated their support in fighting the canker.
Schools, they back here will be there or him or Obinomikasa. Now, you share someone there. Now, someone look at them. Baby free school, like you will be to Monko. Baby free. The Kunda era won't matter so. I won't name of Framado. And see, could be a YouTube case. The cry, you would there. Never.
Business is next.
Good afternoon. We bring you some business updates now. Now, second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Mrs. Elsie Ado Awaji, has been reappointed by President Akufo-Addo for a second term. Her first appointment as second deputy governor was in February 2018.
As the second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Mrs. Elsie Ado Awaji has oversight of the Bank of Ghana's regulation and supervision of banks and other financial institutions, the macro-prudential function and other key operational functions. She is a member of the bank's board of directors, a member of the Statutory Monetary Policy Committee, and a member of Ghana's Financial Stability Council, which has representation from financial regulatory authorities in Ghana and the Finance Ministry. Mrs. Ado Awaji has over 25 years of professional experience working in various capacities in Ghana and internationally in law, finance, policy and regulatory reforms, financial sector regulation, sustainable development and public financial management, among others. She is also a member of the Experts Leaders Group on Women's Financial Inclusion in the Digital Economy. Prior to her appointment as Deputy Governor in 2018, she was Senior Counsel of the Financial and Fiscal Law Unit of the International Monetary Fund IMF's Legal Department for 6 years. Before joining the IMF in 2012, Mrs. Awadi was a commissioner of Ghana Securities and Exchange Commission for 6 years and worked on key financial sector reforms in Ghana and abroad. She has a certificate in WTA law from the Georgetown University Law Center. She also holds an MBA finance degree, an LLB degree from the University of Ghana, and a postgraduate qualifying certificate to practice law from the Ghana School of Law.
We say congratulations to you, Mrs. Elsie Ado Awaji, second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. And a technical committee vetting state-owned enterprises for possible listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange has tipped 7 fully state-owned enterprises as market-ready, pending approval from the Ministry of Finance to get them listed on the Accra Bourse. Deputy Chief Executive of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Ms. Abena Amwa, said the move is to make them profitable and attractive to investors.
The GSE and SIGA have formed 2 committees, a steering committee and a technical committee. And throughout the second half of 2010 and all of last year, we worked to review about 30 companies. Out of that, we came out with a first short list of about 18 companies. And we've narrowed down to the first 7 companies that we believe are market ready. Many of these companies, Government of Ghana owns 100% in them. There are some of them in the larger group that are JV with other private sectors. So we have done a paper, presented it to the Ministry of Finance. It will go for the shareholder, which is Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Finance and the Minister of Public Enterprises, to approve this first 7 so that they can decide and accept and then put them on the market. Again, we are working with our brokers to ensure this happens. Getting a company on the market means that those of us in this room, all of us who've contributed in our pensions, must be ready, must be attractive so that we are confident to put our money into these companies. So that first set of 7 companies are ready, but it doesn't mean that the rest cannot come. Those that are not market ready, we are working with them, we'll be working with them to prepare them.
From the Ghana Stock Exchange, you go to the Commodities Exchange, where the Ghana Commodity Exchange has donated 22 bags of local rice and 5 boxes of Golden Tree chocolates worth 20,000 Ghana cedis to inmates of the Kumasi prisons. Now, the gesture forms part of its corporate social responsibility.
The Ghana Commodity Exchange creates a seamless interface for the trading of food, minerals and other communities in the country. The exchange took part in promoting Ghana's cocoa by celebrating the Chocolate Day with inmates of the Kumasi Central Prisons. The exchange donated boxes of chocolate, rice and an amount of 20,000 cedis. The humanitarian intervention by the Ghana Commodity Exchange is expected to support the over 2,000 prisoners at the Kumasi Central Prisons. The head of corporate affairs and communication at the Ghana Commodity Exchange, Madam Rosalind Siao, who presented the items, said the gesture was part of an annual donation to prison inmates and the less privileged during the celebration of the Chocolate Day.
Today being a day where we show love, we've decided to give back to our brothers and sisters in the Kumasi Central Prison as a way of celebrating Valentine's Day today.
The Ashanti Regional Commander of Prisons, DDP Samuel Yautano, expressed gratitude to the Ghana Commodity Exchange and urged other benevolent organizations to emulate the humanitarian gesture of the state institution.
We go to the interbank forex market where the cedi is trading at 6 cedis 30 pesos to the US, and the pound sterling at 8 cedis 52 pesos is going for 7 years.